Well, I joined the Army at 17 in 1990. Joining the Army for me was a very exciting and appealing thing to give back and to defend and protect.
He was the type of soldier that you wanted to have in your unit, especially as a leader. He was the guy, if I had two of him, as opposed to a regular squad of other guys, I knew I would still get at least as good a production out of those two as I would the entire squad, if not more.
I remember they called him Captain America because he was everything that they thought of as the quintessential American soldier.
The effects of being deployed, particularly for a prolonged period of time, a year, 2 years, time multiplied, it affects everyone. That's not to say that everyone develops post-traumatic stress disorder.
When Luis came home after this first deployment, he seemed much more serious.
You're in a place, when you're in a combat zone, every day you are wondering, if this nook on the side of the road is going to blow you up, or if this person is friend or foe. It causes a state, and rightfully so, it causes a state of hypervigilance. Scientists have shown that it changes you not just psychologically, but physiologically. The brain changes. I have a spinal injury. I have some fractured vertebra. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, as I was talking about, and I sustained a traumatic brain injury. So the effects of war are, in many cases, worse than being in war itself.
Tell me how Tuesday saved your life.
Well, I was going through a tremendously difficult period in 2008 and 2009, dealing with the recovery from the physical and psychological wounds sustained from Iraq.
2 tours in Iraq.
Right. He was just what I needed. I was divorced. I was new to New York City, living in Brooklyn, and I didn't have very many friends. And then, of course, New York City is, it's New York City. So
it's a big place with a lot of people, and sometimes it can be hard to make connections. But this animal helped you make connections, and it's more than an animal to you.
My dog, Tuesday, my beloved Tuesday. What can I say about Tuesday that hasn't been said in the book? A lot can be said. Tuesday is a spirit that has taught me more in 3 years that we've been partnered than any other period in my life. Because every day he helps me get out of bed. He helps me put on my clothes. And when you're disabled, life is a challenge, to say the least.
She asked one of the most frequent questions, and it always brings a smile to my face because it's about my boy. So she asked about how did I come up with his name? I can take no credit for his name. I did not come up with his name, and I'm not that clever to come up with such a fun name. But to give you an answer of how he got his name, and it's still a bit of a mystery, some warm person, man or woman, we don't know, gave money to an organization that trained Tuesday. And that person was asked if he or she would like to name one of the dogs in his litter, and said, yes, please name that one Tuesday. Without any explanation. He wasn't born on a Tuesday, and his brothers and sisters are not Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we don't really know why his name is Tuesday, other than what I just said. One of the things that I had to deal with, and it started in Iraq, in the war, I had to deal with very bad nightmares. one of the things that Tuesday has helped me do, and it's a beautiful thing. I thank him all the time, hundreds of times a day I thank Tuesday. But I had a terrible time sleeping. Terrible time. I would go to sleep for 2 hours and I couldn't stay asleep. And you know, when you can't sleep, that's pretty awful. When you can't sleep, you feel tired the next day. You almost can't do anything because you're so tired. But Tuesday, now I have almost no problem sleeping. Because Tuesday, who I can trust, is there. He tucks me in, which is one of the titles of our book. He makes me feel secure. He makes me feel peaceful and happy and loved. And I can trust him. And so now I have very little problem sleeping.
My wish, one of my wishes, I have a lot of wishes, I pray a lot, is that anyone who needs and wants a service dog gets a service dog. And we can make it happen. I mean, we spend trillions of dollars on cruise missiles and drones. You can spend, $15,000 to $50,000 on a dog that will work, love, take care of you. For its entire life. Network of support. I use this term, networks of support. I believe that every person, I think that it's important. I came to this realization when I was getting out of the fog of post-traumatic stress disorder and TBI and back issues, et cetera, that if you don't have a network of support already established, in your mind, in the forefront of your mind. And what I mean by a network of support, I mean, in my case, the first being in my network of support is Tuesday. And then, it's my parents and my siblings and my close friends and my doctors and my therapists and my priest and my mentors and veteran service organizations and disability organizations and nonprofits and my university and, circles of support that we all owe it to ourselves to have an established network of support right here, because it's an inevitability in life that we're going to have problems and that we're going to struggle.
Life is beautiful. Life is full of laughter and love and happiness and joy and peace and light and lots of good things. But there is also sadness and pain and darkness. And we have to, and that's a reality. That's just a part of the journey. First responders deal with that every day. First responders deal with traumatic events every day. I mean, Tuesday and I have only been here less than 3 days. We've only been here a few days. But already we have seen first responders react. On our way, a new friend was driving us through town, and we saw a Jeep with the sirens going, reacting to some trauma. I don't know what that trauma was, but if those sirens are going, they're responding to a trauma. And thank God, they're there to help us out. But they look at trauma, they see trauma every day of all kinds. And that's a very difficult job. It's why we honor them the way we do, because they deal with things every day that we only experience but a few times in our life.
There's so much potential in this room. I mean, there's so much human, canine, spiritual, mental, emotional potential in this room.
and it's really, you know, I believe firmly in God because I see people who care. I see people who care, and I wish all the best for you. Tuesday and I, we open our email, our Facebook, our everything to you, and I personally, I don't have any pseudo staff, you know, will personally respond to you if you write me, if you have a problem or if I can help you.
Oh, I love you.
Luis Carlos Montalvan will never forget the day he met his dog.
2008, right? It was a presidential election results that day. Just so happened to be Tuesday.
Tuesday has been by his side ever since.
Speak!
Montalvan is Captain Montalvan, a decorated Army veteran of 17 years, plagued by post-traumatic stress from an attack in Iraq.
Like vertigo and migraines, shooting, sharp pain, unable to connect with the world of drinking was a means of numbing the pain. That starts a very dark road.
Tuesday, get my cane. Yeah, get it. Oh, it's a good boy. Oh, yes, it's a big stick. Oh, that's good. Oh, you're so good.
I'd never heard of a service dog before.
Tuesday balances him to keep him from falling and comforts him when the nightmares come.
He gets up gently and he hovers over me. It's very sweet, and he'll lay and he'll start breathing on my neck. He is a caretaker and he is a therapist. I wouldn't be able to speak in this interview, you know, were it not for him. Tuesday, my lap. Sit down.
Oh, he's so good.
Montalvan writes about his journey of healing in the New York Times bestseller Until Tuesday, and he wrote a children's book called Tuesday Tucks Me In.
Tuesday came into my life at its darkest point.
He traveled from his home in New York to Arvada to share his story. He was invited by the Golden Retriever Rescue of the Rockies in Arvada, also known as GRR.
Goldens are very, very intelligent. They're very trainable.
And Kevin Shipley, the director of the rescue, says a sold-out gala in Denver raised a record amount to treat golden retrievers with medical problems.
It's less a book about war than it is about what I call the war after the war.
We caught up with Captain Montalvan as he spoke to veterans and clinical workers with Jefferson County Mental Health. Sandra Norris says she's now coming out of isolation thanks to her dog, Jake.
Jake has made it possible for me to leave my apartment.
Service dogs, they know, they understand. It's that unconditional love they get, which a lot of places, us being veterans, don't get it.
Most everybody knows a veteran and can relate and maybe can communicate a little bit about what they learned from Luis.
Hello, I'm Luis. Chris, it's a pleasure to meet you. How you doing?
Montalvan says interest in service dogs is growing, and he encourages all veterans to talk about their experiences in war and don't suffer in silence.
There is a way through the fire. What a good boy.
Thanks to his furry friend, he's learned how to love and laugh again.
Oh, you, let me kiss.
They take on life together.
He's my best friend ever. Because you can have more than one BFF, right? a best friend forever. But Tuesday is my BFE, my best friend ever. And you can only have one of those. Tuesday, give me a kiss.
Oh, you're so good.
There was a significant change after he got Tuesday.
And Luis, his interaction with Tuesday, he has this like very infectious smile. Very, very warm. I didn't see that till I saw him with Tuesday. And that, I mean, it sounds very like I get teary-eyed, sorry. But it's very sweet.
I think it's also giving Luis a reason, not a reason to live, but a reason that I am responsible for another living being. This other living being needs me and only me. No one else is stepping in for it. And would Luis be where he is today without Tuesday? I can't say yes or no, but I know he's happier where he is today because of Tuesday.
Trauma causes a person to lose trust. What Tuesday did that no one else could do in my life was that Tuesday built a bridge of trust. You know, the subtitle of the book, A Wounded Warrior and the Golden Retriever Who Saved Him, some people who haven't read the book, not a lot, but some people will ask, well, what did Tuesday do? Pull you from a burning car? Did he sniff an IED, in Iraq? And I said, no, he does much more than that. He saves my life every day. He enables me to live my life. By mitigating my disabilities, he has given me back my independence, given me back my potential to be happy, to pursue and achieve goals and dreams. And if that isn't life-saving, I don't know what is.
Sadly, some wounds can never heal. While Munjid's miracle surgery eased Luis's physical pain, the emotional scars he suffered in Iraq ran deep. Just weeks after returning to the United States, Luis took his own life. Last September, he was buried with full military honours at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. His parents, George and Patricia, asked us to share his story in the hope it raised awareness of post-traumatic stress and inspires sufferers to seek help.
Tuesday kiss.
Luis Carlos Montalvan and Tuesday, his golden retriever service dog, have been inseparable for the past 8 years. Before they met, Army Captain Montalvan did 2 tours in Iraq, earning a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars, but he returned broken in body and spirit. A severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder left him terrified to leave home. In 2011, Montalvan co-authored a bestseller, Until Tuesday, A Wounded Warrior and the Golden Retriever Who Saved Him. They toured the country together, preaching a message of hope for those struggling with PTSD. Montalvan was also working on a second book. But last week in El Paso, at just 43 years old, Montalvan was found dead in his hotel room. People close to him say they were stunned to learn he had left his beloved dog with someone else for safekeeping. The cause of death is not yet official, but one thing is for sure: no one will miss him more than his best friend.
Tuesday.
Chip Reed, CBS News, Washington.
Burying your head in the sand, so to speak. I don't want to get help. I don't want to know. I don't want to be affected. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be considered that. Is far worse, far and away worse than knowing and then seeking out help and getting answers. Going through mental health therapy, going through physical therapy, occupational therapy, getting assessments that led to some finality, some actual answers about why I was feeling or acting or, certain ways. And writing has been a monumental form of therapy. When we share of ourselves, we help others. Even if it's not groundbreaking, we are sharing a little piece of ourselves that reinforces, I think, what we all want, which is to be respected and treated right. It's important to discuss these things open and candidly because you don't want people to suffer. You don't want your friends, their families. You care about these people. And the only way for things to get better is if we do something about it, individually, collectively.